All right, episode 1 of the Duck Boat Dispatch. We're going to see how this goes. This is our first time using the software. It's the first time all three of us are actually on it, so we'll see how this goes. Tom Christofiuli, Josh Bracken in the middle, Sarah Pedufley on the far left side, depending on how you're looking at it. This is going to be a good time, guys. A lot going on in the Boston sports world, especially in a time where not much is going on. We got the Celtics playoffs, Patriots schedule release. The Red Sox are eternally going to be a 500 team for the rest of our lives. But this should be a good time. So yeah, it's going to be another Boston sports podcast. There's not enough of those out there. Yeah, we'll go around the room. Josh, do you want to say hi?
Yeah. What's up, everyone? I'm Josh Bracken. This is like the continuation of Tom and I's show from our college radio station, WMLN. We used to be called Off the Bench, but now we are called Duck Boat Dispatch. The reason we are no longer at the radio station is because we got fired. We graduated.
Pretty much getting fired.
Pretty much. We graduated, so now we're here. We wanted to continue our show. Now we're chilling here. And it's kind of weird looking at you on a screen instead of right
Across the
there.
room.
I don't know how much of a fan I am of this, but I'll have to get used to it.
And we do have, finally, thankfully, my mother will be happy. We have a female presence on the show. She's been asking for a year. We have probably the biggest Patriots fan not the biggest Patriots fan, the biggest Trevor Lawrence fan out there on the planet. Sarah Pedufley is joining us. What's up, Sarah?
Not much, and I haven't been asking you. You've been asking me. So let's just get that straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just going to make the show a little bit better.
My mom would agree as well. But let's dive right into it. Boston Celtics stay alive last night. 25-point win over the New York Knicks. They go to Game 6 tomorrow night, Madison Square Garden. I did not think they were going to win that game at all, Josh. Going into it, I thought it was over. Tatum tears his Achilles. He has surgery. I didn't think they were going to do it, but they found a way, Josh.
No, just as a Boston sports fan, I will never lose faith in my team, even if we have like 5 All-Stars on the field, or if we have only one. I will never lose faith in my team. Obviously, losing Jason Tatum is the biggest hit. It's heartbreaking. But I was still holding faith in that someone was going to step up for this team, and who did that end up being? I thought it was going to be Jaylen Brown, and he did. Jaylen Brown did Jaylen Brown things. Career high in playoffs for assists, at least. I think he had 12. And they scored 20 plus points. But then Derek White turned into an absolute god on the court, dropping 30 plus points. And that's what you kind of expected from Derek White and Jaylen Brown. I mean, those two are the biggest two with chemistry with Jason Tatum. You expected them to be the ones to step up, and that's exactly what they did. They didn't just this is what Jaylen Brown said in the post-conference. He said, we're not just going to let this game up and let it go. We're still going to show up, try our best, and push forward, even though we don't have Tatum on the court with us.
Yeah, I think the biggest story was that Luke Cornett, like the greatest basketball player I've seen in my entire life. 7 blocks, 10 points, 100% from the floor, which is huge because Kristaps Porzingis, you heard Joe Mazzulla say it post-game. Dude literally cannot breathe out there. The Monstars have taken his ability to play basketball like in Space Jam, guys. It is insane. He can't shoot, he can't run, he can't even rebound. He didn't play at all in the second half. So Luke Cornett being able to step up the way he did in that game was insane. And I don't know if he can do it in Game 6, but to give this team, this group of guys who we all know heading into the offseason, there's going to be big changes with the Boston Celtics. They're over the second apron. They have to get under that second apron. They have a brand new owner. They're going to be making some cap cuts. And they get one last game with not everybody because Tatum's not in there. But guys you're not going to see in Celtics green next season, Porzingis, Drew, maybe Derek White, maybe Jaylen Brown, who knows, to get one last kind of hurrah at TD Garden was honestly something I was super thankful to happen. And then I can't stand Jalen Brunson. He's a good ball player, but man, does that guy flop like a fish out of water, guys. He is irritating to watch. The call on Al Horford when he just kind of fell down, it's sickening. It really is sickening basketball because there's no art form to it. There's no talent to it. The dude, if you want to act, you're in New York, go to NYU, go to Broadway. There's no place for that in the game of basketball, which is, I'm sad to say, because he is a super talented basketball player. The dude does not miss in the fourth quarter. He fouls out. Game 6. MSG. I am terrified because I think Brunson's going to be special.
He's gonna do Brunson things, but at the same time, you also have to ask yourself, is the Celtics' performance going to transition into the next game as well? I personally still think it will. Again, I'm not losing faith in this team. But again, part of this win was because the Knicks were in such foul trouble throughout the entire game. Jalen Brunson obviously fouling out in the fourth quarter kind of gave them a big hit, even though they were down by 20. Do I see Jalen Brunson going off in Game 6? It's a possibility. I'm not going to say he is because in my perspective, Jalen Brunson has even been all that in this entire playoff series. Last game, Game 4, I thought he played amazing. That was his best game by far. The first three, though, I wasn't a big fan of his performance.
Sarah, I know Celtics isn't your forte. I know you work nights at the restaurant, but how have you felt about this series and this season and the Tatum injury?
I think they have a lot of pressure on them. And right now, Boston is looking for a dynasty team, and I think that pressure has fallen onto the Celtics. With the Bruins missing the playoffs for the first time in 8 years, that's a loss to the Boston community. The Patriots obviously have not been playing well since Brady left, and now we lost Bill Belichick. So we need a team that's gonna be like our Boston team. And it fell on the Celtics with them winning last year. That was awesome. But when Jason Tatum hurt was it his wrist or his thumb? I remember seeing he got
He injured
hurt.
his wrist in the first game of
Yes.
the
So
second
I
round.
remember seeing that people were freaking out and they were like, okay, we're not gonna be able to do this. We got through the first round. We've been losing by 20 points, or they've been coming up from 20 points, the Knicks, to win the game over us in the second half. Or yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I think now that Jason Tatum had his ruptured Achilles, he's done till what, 2027? Yeah.
No, 20. He'll play that 26, 27 season.
Yeah. But people, like you said, were looking to Jaylen Brown to really step up. And I think it's a good opportunity for someone else on the Celtics to kind of rise up and take that Jason Tatum like stardom and be like, listen, I can carry this team. But at the same time, no one has really stepped up yet. In that game 6 in New York, that's do or die.
Yeah, I think White obviously stepped up. Everybody stepped up collectively as a team last night. If you want to focus on one person who really stepped up, I feel like you go with Derek White. But honestly, Luke Cornett. Jaylen Brown was special with the 12 assists, but he's been on record saying, he thinks he can be that guy. He wants to be that guy. And this is really his chance. Game 6 at Madison Square Garden, prime time, the Mecca, if you will. There will be no bigger stage than that for Jaylen Brown to prove, he was worthy of Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He was
Yeah.
worthy of Finals MVP last year. He's worthy of that $300 million contract. He was worthy of being on the USA Olympic team, but he was snubbed. So this is really Jaylen Brown's chance to be the guy, and I think Brunson's going to be special, and we need somebody to match that, and Brown has to be the guy to match that on Game 6.
I think he can do it. I just think he needs to not look at the media, not just like really get in the zone and just focus on himself right now.
Keep the ball out of his left hand.
Exactly.
Still comfortable with the left. Josh,
Yeah.
I know you're a Brown guy, and you know my love for Jason Tatum. That's my Pookie Bear. That's my king. I love that is my Trevor Lawrence. Watching Tatum go down with the Achilles was like I was wearing my jersey and I was just ready to cry at work. I was so sad seeing him because I was like, that's it. Season's over. Next season's over. And Sarah, you make a good point that there's not that Boston dynasty or that team that's competing for championships beside the Celtics. And next season, the 25-26 sports season, will be the first time in like 25 years a Boston sports team won't be like competing for a championship. First
Yeah.
time in our lifetime.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Josh, I know you're the Brown guy. What do you think about Brown in Game 6?
People say like, oh, Brown isn't, his shot selection isn't the greatest. His left hand is the biggest issue. But at the end of the day, I mean, you're still seeing him put up the stats. And despite, the mistakes that are being made, you still have to look at the fact that he is still putting up great numbers. He put up 26, 8, 12 last night, 9 on 17 shooting, 3 for 5, 3, 4, 5 from the line. To me, yes, there are some mistakes, there are some little mistakes, but at the end of the day, I mean, you're looking at a performance like this I still think that even though he didn't have a Derek White performance, like a Derek White step up, he still did step up to the fact that he had to do what he needed to be done, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, he played well. And before we kind of look at the future of the Boston Celtics, Game 6, MSG, you guys think they can do it? Bring it home for Game 7?
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't want to be the one guy that says no, but I really do think that was their last hurrah. They gave it everything they had. So I'll be different. Josh, quit mean mugging me.
I am gonna mean mug you. You
I
say
just
you're a
think
Celtics fan and you're gonna doubt your own team.
Yeah.
There
I'm just being realistic.
are the chances
I
zero.
want them to win.
Are the chances zero?
0. Don't let them
Okay,
get
then
this one.
you should be rooting for that small chance to happen.
Sorry, you're supposed to be on my side here.
I'm never on your side about this.
Fair. Sarah's active. Sarah's one
Boston,
of my great friends, but she's
15.
actively against me in
You
most
are
things.
literally rooting for the Celtics losing.
I'm not rooting. I asked a question. Do you think they will win Game 6? Yes or no? It's not rooting, or
Yes,
I'm
yes I
rooting for
do.
them, but I just don't know if they can do it. If they play the way they did in Game 5, they can absolutely do it. But they've fallen apart in third quarters. They've fallen apart in fourth quarters. They don't have Tatum in Madison Square Garden. That place is going to be probably the loudest barn it's ever been before. They haven't had an actual playoff series clinching game in Madison Square Garden in like 50 years.
It's also, isn't it rivalry weekend for MLB?
It might be. Yeah,
I,
no, they play the Yankees soon.
yeah, so that weekend is going to be all about New York teams.
Well, I know the Yankees aren't. The Red Sox are home. They got a 3-game stint against the Braves this weekend, so they won't be playing the Yankees. But still, like this will be the biggest event.
Rivalry weekend in New York,
Yeah,
not
I
for
think.
Boston.
Yeah, I think the Yankees are home.
They
So it'll
are.
be electric.
Someone's coming back to the Yankees. I don't do baseball.
It could be Soto. The Mets could be playing. They
Yes.
could be playing the
Yes.
Mets. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
shows how much we follow the New York Yankees. Yeah, but it is going to be a massive weekend for the Knicks. But if you ask me, all the pressure's on the Knicks. If they if they lose Game 6, come back to Boston, Game 7, anything can happen. Imagine that.
I mean, we've seen this with the Bruins in Toronto.
It's
We've seen it
possible.
with the Bruins and the Panthers. It can happen. Well, I mean, not really the Panthers, but like
Yeah,
it can happen.
yeah. The last time the Celtics played a Game 6, Josh, you know where we were?
Yeah, we were sitting in my house
Yes, sir.
with my buddy Logan.
Derek White with the
I was gonna say this game reminds me of if they do win it, it's reminding me of what 2 years ago. So what 2023 season game 7 against the Miami Heat, the 8 seeded Heat. Um, that's what it's kind of reminding me of. Obviously, that game didn't end in the way we wanted to. Tatum actually ended up going down with an injury, just tweaking his ankle. In the last couple minutes, I want to say
it
the
was
game
like
was
the
still.
first minute of Game 7.
I'm bugging then.
It was like the first minute he went up for like a fast break layup, and Duncan Robinson, that bum, like contested the layup. He came down on his ankle and he sprained his ankle, and he was just not the same the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's what it's basically reminding me of is that game. The situation, yeah, it's not down 3-0, but it's still down 3-1, which is still a very big lead for the New York Knicks. Very few teams come back from 3-1 leads, so it's very reminiscent of the exact same situation that we've been in. And I think that's what Joe Mazzulla is going to kind of use going into this next game. Like, yeah, we were down 3-1. We were down 3-0 at one point. We ended up coming back. The last game just didn't go in our favor because Tatum ended up getting injured very first play of the game almost. But he's going to tell him like we've been in this situation before. There's no reason why we can't do it again.
Absolutely, there's no reason they can't do it. It's obviously an uphill battle without their superstar. But let's talk about that. Let's say the Celtics win Game 6, they win Game 7. The Tatum haters are going to be having a field day on Twitter. What does that do for Tatum's legacy if they win without Tatum, go to the Eastern Conference Finals, they come back from the Knicks? Tatum haters are going to have a field day on social media.
I was going to say this is a lose-lose situation for Tatum slash Celtics fans, however you want to put it, because obviously if the Celtics lose, then people are going to say, oh, the Celtics were never that good. They had a cakewalk to the finals last year. Like, oh, they need Jason Tatum because their team isn't that good. If they win, though, then media and Twitter will just be like, oh, well, this team is that good and Jason Tatum really isn't all that. Like Jaylen Brown did deserve the Finals MVP last year. Jason Tatum is a complete fraud and he's actually not that good. So either way, just whatever the outcome is, it's a lose-lose situation on the media half.
I don't think it's really going to impact him too much unless they do lose.
You think if they lose, it'll be worse?
If they
If they
win.
win, yeah,
I think
okay.
if they win, it'll be worse. Saying that they'll probably be like, oh, he's washed up. It's going to kind of be the same thing that happened with Belichick, where like Tom Brady went off to Tampa, won a Super Bowl down there. Gronk came out of retirement, went with him. They went off, won a Super Bowl, and they were like, well, it wasn't Belichick, it was Brady. It's going to be the same thing. It's not other guys. It's not Jaylen Brown, not Derek White, not all those guys, but it was Jason Tatum that kept us winning. But on the other hand, if they win and he's gone, it's going to be like what Josh said. It's going to be lose-lose.
Yeah, it's really is a lose-lose with Tatum because you want to see your team move on. But if they do, you know you're going to get criticized for it, and that's the last thing you want. Maybe it's motivation for when he's rehabbing, but
That's what I was going to say. Like if we win and he comes back, he has so much to prove. And I think he can do it.
yeah, I mean, it's been the closest you can say with like this injury would be Kevin Durant in the 2019 Finals. Is kind of what you're looking at for any sort of comparison to how Tatum might bounce back. And KD, as I wouldn't say he's the exact same player, but he's gone back to a very similar level. Tatum,
Here,
3 years younger. Tatum's
yeah.
3 years younger than when KD tore his Achilles. So
He kind
hopefully,
of has age on his side here. He's not like he's young enough to bounce back from this.
he's only 19 years old, guys. He can bounce back. He can still bounce back from this. I'm not worried.
I was going to say there is the thought of, players who have torn their Achilles. It's a very unlikely situation that like, it's likely they come back to the league, but it's unlikely they come back to like the point that they were beforehand. But we've seen that with, a guy like Kevin Durant. This isn't the Achilles, but, Kyrie Irving just tore his ACL. The only thing about Tatum is the age. He's only, what, 27, right?
He's
Not
27.
19. 27. So I'm very optimistic that maybe if he does come back, not next season, but the season after, maybe we do have kind of like a slow start with him. Maybe he doesn't go fully back to where he was. Maybe it takes him a month, 2 months. I'm keeping my optimism that he can bounce back into, the all-star that we know he is.
So just for some context, when Kevin Durant tore his Achilles, he was out for 552 days. That would bring it from the day Tatum tore his Achilles to, I believe, November 16th, 2026. So he missed a full calendar year from 25 to 26. And he'd come back about a month into the NBA season and the 26-27 season. So realistically, we will not see Jason Tatum in Celtic green until 2026.
I think it might be even later.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame that either.
I think because he is only 27, he has the ability to come back, but if he rushes it and comes back too soon, he'll end his career.
I can see that. I mean, there really is no reason for him to rush back.
There really isn't. Like, it's not like the Celtics are looking to get rid of him.
No, I mean,
if they do, another team will take him.
they're not moving off of Tatum and the salary dump this offseason. First of all, you don't move the best player on the team. You don't move a top 3 NBA player in the league right now, even though he just tore his Achilles. You don't do that. That'd be stupid. If you're going to move off of one of them, you'd move off of Brown. But even then, I think that'd be dumb to move off of. I think you keep this nucleus together and you just keep starting them with a young talent. But no, the only way I'd see him coming back before that November 2026, like, kind of guess point with basing off of what Kevin Durant did is if the Celtics are in some sort of playoff run and maybe they want to bring Tatum back in that, that playoff run. It'd be about a full year since he tore his Achilles. Expected date is like 8 to 9 months, so maybe they kind of ramp him up in a month before, a week or two before the playoffs. But it all depends on how his body reacts to the surgery, how fast he rehabs to when we see Jason Tatum next.
I wouldn't even force them to come into the playoffs if like late playoffs next season, just because of the team's going to be so used to playing by themselves at that point. Throwing in a fresh off the injury Jason Tatum into a system that we really haven't had time to adjust yet to, I feel like it's not really gonna balance too well. Yeah, these guys have played with Tatum, but then again, it's been a year since they played with Tatum. They're in a whole new system now that he's been out. I don't know if it would transition well into the playoffs with him. So I'm still saying, like, even if he is fairly healthy come next season's playoffs, I still say sit him.
And even then, it could be a whole different team.
It could be.
Porzingis could be gone. Holiday could be
I think
gone.
he's toast. I think Porzingis
I
is
think he's
toast.
done. I think he's done.
He
I
hasn't
think
done anything notable for us.
he has been a ghost in this playoff series, and he was a ghost in the Orlando series too.
I
I
saw
mean, he
him
was
maybe once or twice, like when I would look up at the TV at the bar, I would like see like, oh, there he is, and then I'd look back 5 minutes later and he's not there.
12 minutes in Game 5, 0 minutes in the second half. Luke Cornett replaced him in the starting lineup in the second half, and
thank God for Luke
Luke
Cornett
Cornett
in
was
that
phenomenal last
performance.
night.
Now, I trust Jaylen Brown and Derek White to be consistent in this next game. Luke Cornett, though, I don't know if it's gonna transition that into next game.
For a large sum of money that he does not record 7 blocks again in Game
No, not
6.
7 blocks, but I mean, like, if he can at least give me like two or
Solid defense and
three,
rebounding,
two
I'd be
or
happy.
three blocks and some solid defense and some good like putback lays, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I'm not asking for too much. I'm asking for
Just slow down
something though.
Cat and Mitchell Robinson, who have been kind of eaten without Porzingis.
Yeah,
Just
they've
because
been.
Al Horford, he's old. I love him, but he's old. Al Horford probably playing his last few games in the in the NBA most likely. Um,
I'm gonna cry when that day comes.
but who knows? We thought he was going to retire last year, and he's still here. He's still cooking with gas. It's old gas. It's on the end of its tank, but he's still
They,
cooking.
those guys are stubborn. They might need a little push.
Yep, I love Al though. I think he'll get his jersey retired, but that's a discussion for another day. Real quick though, before we pivot off the Boston Celtics, I know we said Game 6. You guys think they're going to win it? Bring it back home for Game 7. I'm skeptical, at least. Let's just say that. I'm
Yeah, they're
very
a bum.
nervous. I think it's possible they could do it, but I don't think they're going to. I think the Knicks. I think it's just the next time. Celtics are injury rattled. I think they gave their last hurrah in Game 5 at TD Garden. But I'd be happy to be proven wrong. If it does go to a Game 7, imagine you guys take the Celtics in 7.
I still will. If this team can push a game seven, they can win the game seven.
All right. Well, if it goes to 7, I'll take them as well. But only time will tell. Game 5 Friday, Madison, or Game 6 Friday, Madison Square Garden. Game 7, if there is one, Monday at TD Garden. Again, before we pivot off the Celtics, next year, Josh, in the offseason, Sarah, who do you think is cut, or not cut, who do you think is, gone from this team next time they suit up in the fall?
I'm going with, well, the obvious one is KP. I think KP's gone. The health, the contract. It's like he's taken up space because of the health and then his contract. We need to get rid of some kind of money. I think he's gone. And then I'm gonna say he's like the 1-1 for me. My 1-2 would be Drew Holiday. Similar situation. One, because of the money. Obviously, money's the biggest problem with this team right now. One, because of the money. Second, because of his age. I think his age kind of leads into we don't really need to keep you for the long term. We need to start looking ahead of us for some other young guys. That guy could be Payne Pritchard. I think we could see Payne Pritchard in the starting lineup next year with the vacancy of Drew Holiday leaving, the departure of him. So I think those are like the 1-1 and the 1-2 right now of guys being gone. I don't think it's Derek White and Jaylen Brown because of this Tatum injury. They want to keep some of that culture, some of that chemistry, and that those two bond the most with Tatum. So when Tatum does come back, he's kind of coming back to a system that he's used to. So I think White and Brown are the two to stay. Holiday, KP are the two to go.
I agree with them. See, I don't know about basketball as well as you two, but I have seen some rumors about Jaylen Brown possibly leaving, being traded. So I don't like to believe rumors, but I think if game 6 doesn't go well for him, he possibly could be on his way out.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Jaylen Brown, like his entire career, has been put in pretty much every single trade scenario for a big player. Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant 2 or 3 times at this point now. Giannis possibly if he wants to stay in the East, but I think Brown will be here. I agree with you, Josh. I think Drew and KP are done when the season is over and Celtic Green. The only guy I'm going to add is Sam Hauser, and I've been saying this. He's making too much money when there's a guy on the bench and a rookie who you kind of want to see develop, and Baylor Sharman, who does the exact same thing Sam Hauser does. He shoots threes at a good rate. I think Hauser is a guy who's disposable when it comes to cap. He's making like $10 million. Al Horford, if he retires, is off the books as well. So Horford, KP, Drew, Hauser, that gets them another second apron. Glad we all agree with that. But let's pivot now because I know we want to get to some football. So the sounder isn't playing. Love to hear that. Whatever. That's how the new things go. Let's try
Test
this
run.
again. It's not working. Whatever. All right. Love to hear it. We'll figure that one out for next time. NFL season schedules came out yesterday. New England Patriots. We'll go through the schedule all the way through it at a point in time. But I want to start off with Josh has it written down. Thank you, Josh. We'll go through all the games. But how do we think May and Vrabel work together?
My initial thoughts, I think it's shaky at first, simply just because of the pattern of rookie quarterback with a head coach. That head coach ends up getting fired his sophomore year. There's a new coach. That quarterback ends up struggling for that. You could call it the whole year. You could say the rest of his career. You could say the first half. I think it's at least maybe the first couple games. I'm especially kind of looking at their schedule a little bit. I think they're kind of off to some early losses. But again, this is Drake May, who just played his first year with Gerard Mayo, who I wasn't a fan of. We lose Gerard Mayo. Now he has to adjust to a whole new system with Mike Vrabel. So I think it's going to be, I don't think we're completely toast, but I think you're going to see some, little bit of an adjustment. You have to get used to playing with this new system. We're going to see a little bit of shakiness throughout the entire performance in the first couple weeks, I'd say.
I agree, but I think at the same time, Drake May hasn't had the stability there. He has a bunch of new receivers and almost an entirely new offensive line, except for a handful of people.
I think the only holdover is Owenu and Ben Bond, maybe, the center. So he
Yeah.
does have a whole new offensive line, but he has a lot of new pieces to work with, too.
Yeah. But I think that first opening game against the Raiders, there's some history there between Vrabel, not Variable,
McDaniels.
yes. There's history between them. Tom Brady has a stake in the ownership with the Raiders. I think that first game, if we pull it off and win, I think that would be amazing.
That first game does have a lot of storylines, like you say, Sarah. Tom Brady now owns part of the Raiders. The dynasty kicked off with the Tuck rule against the Raiders 20-some-odd years ago. Josh McDaniels was just the head coach of the Raiders. He was fired on, like, Halloween.
He was out
You have
with his daughter.
Yeah, so I think that'll be a game where Vrabel McDaniels, I don't want to say they'll want to empty the gun in week one, but I think they're going to want to come out and blow the doors off the Raiders at home as well. A whole new era for the New England Patriots. Vrabel, May, McDaniels, Henderson, Williams, Gonzo. They're going to want to come out and put a show on for Gillette Stadium, which has not seen a good football game in quite a while. I don't care how much you enjoyed that Bills Patriots with Joe Milton. Yeah, it was fun to watch, I'm sure, but that was a terrible game.
That a blowout game like that's not enjoyable. Like, I want back and forth 1-point game. Like, I want to be walking, pacing my living room because I can't sit still. Also,
Josh, what's
should
up?
not.
Yeah, they should have lost that game to the Bills, but can't go back and change it now. Can't
I know.
blame Joe Milton. Can't blame Gerard. It's just
Yeah.
the way it goes. They should have
Just-
lost, though.
Yeah.
Josh, how do you feel about the Week 1 matchup? I know we haven't gotten full into the NFL schedule yet, but since we're talking about it, how do you feel about Week 1 against the Raiders?
Week 1 against the Raiders home. I think it's I think everyone's gonna be disappointed. I have that game resulting in a loss just because I think when people see these kind of bad teams, if you want to call them that, people think, oh, the Patriots have a chance to win that. These other teams also improved. You have to remember the Raiders still have Max Crosby on their defense. That's a problem. They now have Brock Bowers, sophomore tight end, Ashton Genty, and now Geno Smith, who is a comfortable quarterback, and with Pete Carroll at head coach. The Raiders are a sucky team. But then you also have to remember they upgraded their team a little bit this offseason. I think they're honestly going to kill us the first week.
I think a lot of people during the off season of football, there's a lot of trades and stuff going on in the background. If you're not one of those crappy teams that makes like a million moves in the offseason and you're not really in the media, people forget about you. And I think that's kind of what happened to the Raiders. Yes, the Pete Carroll move, that was good. Do I think it's great? Not really. But they still, like you said, did work in the offseason. It just wasn't as much in the media as, say, the Patriots were.
It's not flashy. I mean, Geno Smith is Geno Smith. Pete Carroll is like 72 years old, but he's going to give stability to that team that really needs it that they didn't have with Antonio Pierce. That'll set the foundation that Tom Brady, who the hell's the other guy? What is it? It's not Al Davis anymore. Who's the owner of the Raiders? Mark Davis? The guy with the terrible bowl cut, whatever that dude's name is. The
Mark
name's
Davis.
escaping. Mark Davis?
Yep.
Good bit, Josh. I knew I was close. I think Al Davis was his dad or whatever. If it makes sense. Either way, it builds a stability that they want to build. They still haven't found that franchise cornerback cornerstone, but they have the pieces. Genty is I'm scared about what he's going to do because teams ran all over the Patriots last year. I'm kind of scared about Genty, but who knows how good he'll be with the competition he played at Boise State. But it should be an exciting week one matchup with a lot of storylines. I I have faith in this team to improve, but not as much as everybody else thinks. A lot of people think this is a 10-win team. I don't think adding Vrabel and Stephon Diggs off a torn ACL makes this a 10-win team.
You're not hopping on the train with Tyler and the car who had them at
No,
11-6.
Kyle in the car back at school thought this was an 11-win team. He took like every game to be a win. I think now that the schedule is actually out, I know we're just going based off opponents, but with the schedule, with the travel, things like that, when they match up with teams in the season, I think we can get a better look at what this team will actually be. So let's just start it off. Week one against the Raiders. I think they win.
I have a loss.
Are you tracking this, Josh?
I have it all in this.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have to say win.
All
I
right.
don't have a choice in the matter.
Just week one, the Kraft's new era. They want to win. I think Vrabel wants to prove something too, and along with Daniels.
I think another big thing that a lot of fans are overlooking is the fact that because we have pretty much a new offensive line, they've never played together. That's a huge thing too. Drake May, great quarterback. Is he my favorite? I hated Mac Jones. I was very vocal about that. I never liked him. I never liked Cam Newton. They didn't
What?
impress me.
Why did you dislike Mac Jones, Sarah?
He went to Alabama.
Imagine if we had Duff on the show as
Duff.
well. Duff would be going off.
So we had Duff was our third chair at MLN.
I remember.
Bama guy,
Yeah.
Sarah, Duffy, Clemson girl.
Yes.
Funny how the world works like that.
That'd be a field day.
That was like my main first reason I didn't like him. And I said to people, I said, I was open for Mac Jones to prove me wrong. I was open to it. Was I going to just hop on the bandwagon and be like, oh my God, he's going to be the next Tom Brady. He's our new dynasty quarterback, blah, blah, blah. No. And I'm kind of doing the same thing with Drake May. Do I think he's much better? Yes. Did he go to Alabama? No. So that works in favor. But again, he has to get comfortable with his receivers. He has to build that relationship and that trust with them that Brady had with Gronk, Edelman, Amendola, all these guys that were on the team for multiple years. We don't have that right now. So, do I think they can come together and pull a few wins? Yes. Do I think they'll go to the playoffs? No. If we get our shit together, maybe wild card. Maybe. Big maybe.
Well, you mentioned the wide receivers, and Stephon Diggs helped unlock Josh Allen. And I see like the look on your face that you do not seem to like Stephon Diggs.
He's old.
He's old, coming off an ACL, but hey, he's better than Kayshon Boutte. He's better than Pop Douglas. He's better than Kendrick Bourne. He's better than Jalen Polk and Javon Baker.
As
You
long
can
as
make
he
a
can
play.
catch a fucking ball, I don't care.
I forgot we can do that now. We're not on live radio. I can
You can swear.
I can swear on this.
Yeah.
This is dangerous.
Sorry, I just swear all the time.
No, you're good. It's fine. Let it fly. There's no rules here.
The question is, how badly do I want to disappoint Tom's mom? I don't know if I
That's the
want to.
thing is I can't swear because my mom's gonna watch this and I can't swear.
I know I don't know if I want to disappoint your mom, so just out of that, I might hold myself
Honestly,
back. But if we ever get into a area where I'm very passionate, you might see me drop a bomb or few.
see, that's my area. The Patriots don't even talk about Trevor Lawrence. I don't want to talk about Trevor Lawrence, but that's like my
I can't wait till we're like week 5 of the NFL season. We'll choose the next segment later, when we're talking about other teams, other sports things around the league. Week 5, 5 weeks in a row. Bitters. This is Trevor Lawrence's year. This is his breakout season. I can't wait for that. Like, I think it's like 18 weeks away, the NFL season.
yeah, stop it so soon. No, I people say to me all the time, they're like, you don't like Mac Jones, but you are ride or die for Trevor Lawrence. I'm like, yes, because I know what he can do. Mac
We're
Jones
not.
impressed me in college. Why would he impress me in the NFL?
We'll pivot off this Trevor Lawrence because if we don't, we'll be here all day.
Yeah, we will. It'll be
We
bad.
will. Yeah, I just think with the Raiders, I think this is a friendly matchup. Two teams really trying to find their new identity at home. I think Vrabel can outcoach Carroll. I think May
Oh,
can outplay Smith. And I just think overall, like home crowd, new vibe, they're going to enter the gun in week 1. So that's why I take them over the Raiders in week 1. So Sarah and I have a win. Josh has a loss. Who do they play in week 2, Josh?
Week 2, they're going to Miami against the Dolphins,
This is a
which I'm
loss. They don't.
starting off with a loss.
They
gonna
don't
beat
win in
them.
Miami. They don't win in Miami.
No. I said
Um,
squish the fish to someone once and they had no idea what I was talking about.
you want
It
to beat the
was
Dolphins, beat the Fins. But no, week 2, they don't win in Miami. They're still going to be figuring it out. Miami, they'll play well in the heat. They open the seasons well. They have a high-powered offense.
Week 3, they're back at Gillette Stadium against the Steelers,
It's an
which
interesting one. It's interesting.
yeah,
It's interesting
who's their
because
quarterback?
it is Mason Rudolph is their quarterback as of right now.
And then what? They just got rid of George Pickens for nothing?
What's up, Sarah?
Didn't they take a quarterback in the draft?
They took from Ohio State, I think.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they took Will Howard from the Ohio State.
I
But
don't know.
Mason Rudolph is their quote unquote QB1.
Oh,
Maybe they
great.
get Aaron Rodgers. They get rid of George Pickens for nothing. They get DK Metcalf. I don't know what they're doing in Pittsburgh. They're in
They
this
still have
constant state of like, are we rebuilding or are we competing for a championship? They got to pick a lane, and I think they just need to restart everything. But I do think they can beat the New England Patriots somehow.
I'm going with
I
it. I think we can beat them.
I think they lose. Just Mike Tomlin is such a good coach. He keeps that team so well organized. They don't they win close football games.
Okay,
They
this
don't
is
play
the
bad
one
football.
time I'm gonna go against Bill Belichick, but Brady left, Bill lost, Brady won.
What are we talking about here? We're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers stuff. Duffy.
That's true. Shut up.
What do we do? Well, you make a factual point, but I have no clue where you're going with that.
I don't know.
All
I
right.
myself up here.
sorry, did
Yeah.
you say you had them winning?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they lose to the Steelers. They have a great defense. Cam Hayward's still a dog down there.
That was the thing. I was just gonna say because the defense, and I think Mike Tomlin could somehow outcoach Vrabel because he is so experienced. I'm saying a loss as well. I have them 0-3 at the moment.
Also, assuming they sign Aaron Rodgers, I'm assuming that he will be playing
Yeah.
quarterback.
What is he gonna do?
He's going to do more than Mason Rudolph.
Start drama.
Literally. He's gonna make everyone hate each other, so then I'm gonna win.
Oh, that's perfect for DK Metcalf.
When he and DK Metcalf
DK
can go do like
Aaron Rodgers throwing to DK Metcalf. I didn't actually put that in perspective.
Yeah.
should be good. They should
They
be
should
good together.
be. But like look at what happened with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers.
But that's the Jets. Like that just had like disaster written
Doesn't
all
matter.
over it.
He also
Doesn't
tore his Achilles.
He did too.
Yeah. Minutes into the game. That it wasn't amazing. I feel bad he got hurt, but like that was comical.
All right. Yeah. Carries the flag out, like drops back, tears his Achilles. Terrible, terrible. Never want someone to get injured, but like if it's gonna happen to anybody, the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers just like fit the bill.
Yeah. They were trying to do something. They were really trying to do something with that, and they just missed the mark.
They did miss the mark. So I have them 1-2. Josh is 0-3. Sarah's 2-1. Week 4. Who do they play, Josh?
They're still at Gillette. They're playing the Panthers though, which even though the Panthers have upgraded a little bit, I'm gonna give them their first win of the season at week 4.
I agree. I looked at tickets for that game.
Expensive?
$700 to $900. Yeah,
What like where in the stadium, or is that just like average?
average. And then I looked like up in the bleachers. I think the lowest I could find was like 560.
I mean, I think that'll be a good matchup. It's Young, Ted McMillan. Like that
Well,
should be a fun matchup.
why are we selling tickets? And this was through the Patriots.
Yeah.
Why are we selling tickets for that much money for two shit teams?
I don't know if I'd say shit. I'd say a little above. Like
They're
I
not
think
Super Bowl contenders.
no, they're not Super Bowl contenders.
Then why are we paying that much?
It's got to be something special that day.
I checked the first 4 games, and it was all like that.
So I see tickets on SeatGeek for that Panthers game for $200, Duffy. I don't know where you're looking.
I clicked the link for when it was dropping.
It's probably why. It's like right as it drops. I'm seeing $200 right now. It's kind of
Like
the
I'm
average price.
proactive.
Yeah, I never look at a Patriots ticket, but I still think that should be a good game. But at home, I mean, who knows what Bryce Young's going to be? He was terrible to start the season last year, but then he closed really strong. They give him a receiver. I still think the Patriots can take him at home.
So we're all saying that's a win. So at the moment, I have them 1-3. Tom, you have them 2-2. Sarah, you have them 3-1.
Nobody's on
So
four.
week 5, they go to Buffalo. That is Sunday night football against the Bills.
I'm going
Yes, a
with
loss.
A loss.
Did you say win?
Yeah.
I love that.
Why? Why? You didn't know why.
Didn't last season we beat the Bills both times we played them?
No, I think they got absolutely destroyed the first time they played the Bills.
Let's just say I'm an optimist.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to believe in them, but Bills Mafia.
I'm
Allen,
like delirious when it comes to the Patriots. I am fully tunnel vision, and in my mind, they're gonna win and do nothing wrong. And then on Sunday, I'll sit on my couch and scream and throw things at the TV.
So let's see. They played the Bills at Buffalo, and they
I know
lost
it
by
wasn't
3.
a blowout.
They lost by
Yeah, it
3.
wasn't a blowout.
That's
They were fighting hard in that game.
Yep.
But that was the end of the season. They got twice at the end of the season. Buffalo started the season. I actually have something to play for. I think they get absolutely destroyed by Buffalo in Buffalo week 5.
Yeah, Sunday night football, prime time. I think it's all Bills on that one.
All Bills.
But then week 6, they go to New Orleans to play against the abysmal Saints.
This should be the easiest win of the season.
Yeah. And then they're just gonna lose. So I'm gonna go lose. Because I know.
Okay, so you think they beat the Bills and they lose to the Saints?
No, I'm saying win. I think we can win that.
They should win that.
That would be a Patriots thing. Like
It would be.
Buffalo, we beat the Bills, and then we go down to New Orleans and we just get fucking smoked.
What happened? And what happened?
It would happen.
Spencer Rattler just
I'm
throws.
looking at one game on this schedule so far. Like on paper we should win. I'm gonna give them the loss on this game once we get to it though, just because I can see them dropping a game.
Yeah. I think the Saints might be like the worst team. Like if you're gonna be a fan of any team, like up there with Cleveland of how bad they. I mean, they have Spencer Rattler, Dylan Gabe. No, that's the guy the Brown. They have like 3 quarterbacks in their room, and I can barely name them.
No, I know who you're talking about. It's last name begins with an S.
I have no clue where the quarterback they drafted was.
It's Tyler Shaw. They drafted.
The kid from like Liberty, right?
Colorado. No.
Where'd Tyler Shaw
go? The Browns? No, not him. It's not Colorado then. The kid with the golden retriever on the couch. I don't remember his name. I just remember seeing a really cute dog.
Jackson Dart?
Yes.
Dart went to the Giants.
Right. Never mind.
I
wasn't cohesive during the draft. Let's just say that.
I knew you were at the bar and you were probably hammered.
I was.
No, they should beat the Saints, no questions. Their QB room is in shambles. They don't have a lot of talent on that team.
Yeah.
There should be no issue with the Saints.
Week 7, they're still away. They go to Tennessee, though, to play against Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans.
Win. This is the revenge game for Vrabel. This is the win. Revenge game.
I also have them as a win.
Okay, I'll agree with you.
Although I like we're pulling your leg over there, Duffy. You want to give them the win. You want to give them the win for every game, but you just don't want to go 17-0 because you know it's not going to happen.
But I would do that. And I have
Mhm.
full confidence that they could do it, but I don't know.
Yeah, it just Vrabel's return to Tennessee, rookie quarterback. The team doesn't have a lot of talent around them as well. It should be an easy. I don't want to say easy win. It should be a fun game. Like a lot of these games against bad teams should be fun because the Patriots are not pretty much just as bad,
Yeah.
but you could see them like hanging in there and throwing a few punches with a good team. So it should be an exciting season at least.
I'm just excited for a season where I'm not going to sit on the couch every weekend and just know we're going to lose.
Yeah, you like dread watching the game.
It like got to the point where I made Xander buy YouTube TV so I could watch Jacksonville. Like it was to the point where I was like, I'm going to watch Trevor Lawrence over my own goddamn team.
And then what did you do when Trevor Lawrence was up for the season?
I was actually, funny story about that, when he got hit, that like dirty hit.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I was actually flying back from Ireland,
so you missed it.
just landed, literally just landed, turned my phone off airplane mode, and I had about 50 calls and texts from people. And I was like, what is going on? I'm in Boston Logan at the baggage claim. I had just gotten a coffee from Dunkin', and I see on ESPN Trevor Lawrence carted off. And I was like, what? So I called Xander. I said, you need to put the fucking Jags game on right now. Rewind. And I see the hit. When I tell you, I started crying in the middle of baggage claim because I thought he was dead. I was like, he's supposed to have a baby in 2 months. I mean, I don't give a fuck about his wife. I wish he was single, but whatever. That's another story. But like,
Trevor definitely.
I mean, if you want to go off about celebrities, I mean, I could say my part. I'm kidding.
go ahead. But no, that was heartbreaking for me.
Super
Like
random.
the scariest thing ever.
Did you see the TikTok I sent you?
No. Me?
Did you see the
Oh,
TikTok I sent you?
Yeah, you sent me like five a day. You
Well, I
gotta
just
narrow
sent
it
you one
down.
like an hour ago, but like you can like Airbnb with celebrities now.
Oh yeah.
And one of them, like, yeah, I don't know if you saw this, but apparently the Airbnb is doing like a special thing where you can like rent an Airbnb and like the host of the Airbnb is like a celebrity. And I think one of them on the list is Sabrina Carpenter, who Josh is very fond of.
if the name isn't Trevor Lawrence, I don't care.
I mean, maybe he's on there.
They have
Maybe not
similar
right now, but maybe in the
hairstyles.
future.
He would not be. He's like holy Jesus Christ, like goes to church every Sunday. Like he's not doing that. That's why him and I would never work. I did get confirmed. I did the whole church thing. So like maybe, but
Maybe, just maybe. You couldn't suck up an hour of church for Trevor?
no. My uncle used to tell me, he goes, Sarah, the holy water boils when you walk in. I'm like, I'm not that bad.
The
Get struck
holy
by
water
lightning in church.
boils.
I'm like, I'm not a bad person.
I'm making holy water because I'm boiling the hell out of it.
See, I'm keeping it pure.
All right. What week are we on? What are we on? Week 8 now?
We're on week 8, so I have them at 3-4 at the moment. Tom, you have them 5-3, or no, sorry, 4-3. I did my math wrong. You have them 4-3. Sarah, you have them 6-1. So going into week 8, we're back at Gillette Stadium against the Cleveland Browns.
It's a win. Cleveland sucks.
Okay, I don't know if
They did
this is
a
one
lot
you
of
could just
work.
like toss up.
What's up?
They did a lot of work in the off season, though.
But they
I
have
mean,
like 7.
they got Sanders. Like, come on.
Look at the defense too. The defense is good.
It's
Mason
Cleveland, though.
Graham, Mason
It
Graham, and Miles Garrett.
I mean, yeah,
I
it's
think
going to
you're
be
underestimating
lethal.
them.
But who's playing quarterback? Joe Flacco,
They got five
Sanders,
to they
Dylan
got five to
Gabriel.
choose from. They'll probably just end up going with Sanders.
Yeah,
Pickett in that
probably.
QB room, too.
What?
I think Kenny Pickett's in that quarterback room, too.
I'm
They got a
gonna
bunch of
I'm gonna
backups.
go. I'm gonna say it's a win just because how abysmal I think the offense is. I think it's still a very low scoring game because the
Yeah,
defenses, but the Browns also don't have a running back. Who's their wide receiver one? Judy? Is it Jerry Judy?
I
Is
think
Judy
so.
still even there?
Yeah,
I
Judy's there. Which Judy can ball. They got David Njoku, so I don't think this is like a toss up saying that the Patriots gonna blow them out. But I'll sneak them a win. I'll be optimistic.
All right. Yeah, I give them the win, but I think this is where the season starts to go down the hill now after this. If I know the schedule right.
think you're right.
Next, We play for the Browns.
We're still at home in Gillette. Week 9, we play the Falcons. That's a loss to me.
Yeah, that's a loss.
I like the Falcons.
I agree.
Penix, Robinson, Kyle Pitts, new head coach.
Week 10, we go to Tampa Bay to play against the Buccaneers. That's a loss to me.
Again, just new head coach.
Yeah.
No, not a new head coach, new offensive coordinator for the Bucks. But still, Baker Mayfield's a dog.
I
Mike
know.
Evans is still
Well last year.
Mike Evans. Chris Godwin coming back from an injury. They're going to be good. And I think they drafted a receiver in the draft in the first round.
Is Godwin going to be back, though, in time?
He'll probably miss a couple of weeks, but I feel like at this part of the season, he should be back. What are we, week
That's
11 now? Week 10, 11.
Was it ACL or Achilles?
I think it was an ACL.
I think it was ACL.
His leg does not look. His leg blew up.
I watched that. I was watching that live, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, some of those ugly ones, too.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I was happy because the person I was playing against fantasy that weekend had him on their team. So I ended up winning that weekend. But still, never want to see anyone hurt.
Always a silver lining with Sara and injuries. She always finds a way to win.
Me too.
We play for the Bucks.
Week 11, this is Thursday night football. They're at Gillette Stadium against the New York Jets.
Why would they put this on Thursday night football? Why?
I don't know. Justin Fields versus Drake May.
Oh, yeah. Forgot they took Justin Fields.
I mean, they're going to beat the Jets.
Good. I think we're going to win.
They'll beat the Jets.
I feel bad for Justin Fields. He just goes from one bad team to a worse team. Like, straight out
Chicago.
Straight out the gate, went to Chicago, then got traded to the Jets. That sucks.
Well, no, he was actually he was on the Steelers for a little while last year, if you remember, Duffy. He didn't play bad with the Steelers.
He didn't. He also had Mike Tomlin as a coach. Who's the Jets head coach right now?
It's the old defensive coordinator from the Lions. I don't know his name.
Right. I like the Lions.
Campbell. I love MCDC.
I'll give the Patriots the win, though.
Yeah,
nice.
It should be the Jets. They should at least split the series with the Jets this year.
If they lose to the Jets, I'm walking away.
They'll lose one game to the Jets just because they're still not that good, and the Jets have talent, sauce.
If you're a team from New York, we're probably gonna lose.
And they're going to beat the Bills.
Yes,
the Bills are in New York.
I know.
The Bills are actually the only football team that plays in New York.
I know. My point being, the Giants and the Jets, we have a horrible history with them.
Giants, yes. The Jets, they usually beat the shit out of.
Yeah, fair. Week 12.
They play the Giants after the Jets, right, Josh?
I think so.
No. They play the Bengals.
The Bengals in Cincinnati. They're going to lose.
That game.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Would love to have T. Higgins.
When they were talking about him being a free agent, I was so excited.
Then they should have tried to make him. I mean, they always miss on the top tier talent.
I know.
You really get after the Bengals, Josh.
It's another primetime game, Monday Night Football. If you thought the Jets primetime game was bad, this is worse because it's the Giants.
Why are they doing
Giants versus the Patriots at Gillette Stadium on Monday Night Football. I'm saying this is a loss. I think this is the one that they let up. That people are going to be like, oh, it's at home, Monday night. It's in Gillette. Just because of gut feeling, I think this is the one that they just give up and this is a loss and everyone's going to be disappointed.
I don't know.
Jackson Dart will probably be playing by this time.
That's true. Okay, yeah, but we still... I don't really trust him that much yet, so I'm not going to say it.
I can absolutely see what you're saying, Josh, because what do I have them at right now? Like, what do I have them before going into this game?
I'll let you know because the next week's the bye. I'll tell you. Yeah. I'll tell you after that.
Well, no, can you tell what are they at? What do I have them at, like 6 and something?
You have them at 7-6.
7-6. They're in the middle of like a wild card race right now. Is where I have them at this point in the season. I can absolutely see them dropping a bad game to the Giants when it's like you got to win. It should be an easy win. Keep your playoff hope alive. I agree with you. I see them dropping this one to the Giants.
I agree with you, honestly, but I might change that when it comes closer.
Plenty of time, still whole off-season training camp.
I want to see how they play. That's why I love preseason. But once I see how they play, I feel like I can more accurately say something.
Yeah, this is. I'm sure we'll go over this again at some point on a different episode closer to the season. But this is knee-jerk reactions to the schedule release.
Watch me be right. That'd be nice.
Week 14 is a bye week. Week 15, so fresh off the bye, We're at Gillette Stadium against Buffalo.
Loss.
That's
Loss.
a loss, yeah.
You can have 3 weeks. You can have the whole season to prepare for Buffalo, and they still might lose that game.
Yeah.
I do like a late bye. I don't love the late bye with the new head coach. Kind of want a mid-season bye, but the late bye, maybe if they are on a playoff hunt, maybe this works out in their favor.
I hope it does.
Week 16, we go to Baltimore to play against the Ravens.
Loss.
That's an ugly loss.
They 3-game losing streak starting with the Giants. They lose their playoff dreams. I can see it happening. I can really see it being like they had it like the tip of their tongue.
They always stack us at the end of the season with just the teams that are going to demolish us.
Yeah. Week 17 is MetLife Stadium against the Jets for the second time.
So I have them winning. I know I said they could probably split the series. I think it's more likely they split the series, but I do have them sweeping just because the Jets end of the season they're going to be trying to lose for a draft position.
So you have them winning?
I have them beating the Jets. Yeah.
Okay, so do I.
I'm going to say win.
Yeah, just the Jets are going to want to lose that game. Tank for Archie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then final game, week 18. This time is not determined because it's the last week. We're in Gillette Stadium against the Miami Dolphins.
I think we're going to win.
I'm saying a win.
They could win. They always split it.
Cold.
They always split it with the Dolphins. Dolphins don't play well in the cold. Tua hates the cold.
Yeah.
So yeah, they always split with the Dolphins. They'll beat the Dolphins.
Tua doesn't have that much brain function anymore, anyways. What?
Not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I don't think you're wrong, but I'm not touching it.
Sorry. I feel like I'm gonna be one that's like saying the most outrageous things.
Yeah. Unless I'm talking about Tatum, I usually stay pretty even keeled.
Yeah, I know.
That's fine. We need that. So Josh is doing the math right now. He's counting up all the wins and things like that. Just before even looking at it, I'm willing to bet Sarah has them winning like 11 games, making the playoffs as a wild card. I think Josh and both making the playoffs by this much.
Yeah. I would love to make the playoffs. That would make me happy.
I'd be super happy, but
I'm so sick of watching the playoffs and not caring.
I don't care. It's just there's always more at it when your team. It makes sense. When your team's in there, you have more at stake. You watch every game because you're like, "Ooh, who are we going to match up with?"
I just want to go to a parade. That's all I want.
Did you go to the Celtics parade? No, you didn't go to the Celtics parade.
I had work.
Yeah, I had to work that one too.
My high school teachers, though, they knew if if the Patriots won the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be in school.
No.
They already marked me.
I went to the last one. I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah. Sophomore?
Yeah.
When was the last time
parade?
No.
The Patriots Rams parade. We were sophomores in high school, Josh.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Celtics. I was like,
no.
Oh my god, I'm a year older than you guys. I was like, I was a junior.
Yeah. That's gonna sound great. Whoever's phone just went off.
Sorry.
All right. Real quick before we wrap,
so
we're figuring this out. Real quick, Josh, what do we have for records?
So I am sitting at a final record of 7-10. You have them at a final record of 8-9.
Okay.
And then Sarah has them sitting at 10-7.
I think all are very realistic possibilities.
It's not like Duff who had them 11. Which I mean, like, there's only one more win.
I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
What did I have? 7?
10-7.
I'm okay with that.
I'll hold on to this too.
Don't lose that.
Stupid we were.
It should be an exciting season because we have something more to root for than just watching Drake May play good football.
What'd you say?
It's just
the audio is great on this.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
it should be a good season. They have more to root for than just Drake May playing decent football.
Yeah,
that's what I said. Which is all we had last year was watching Drake May make highlight plays.
Yeah. No, next season's gonna be
Duffy's at KFC, I think.
That's what I call him.
You cut out completely. Your Wi-Fi is killing us.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. We're just busting your balls. So we'll try and get Duffy back at some point. He's working her way back somehow. As we can see, you're frozen there on the screen. I still have Josh at least.
I live on an island.
Duffy literally lives on an island. She's on an island now herself. Slowly coming back to us. I think we can hear you now, Sarah.
I think I'm back.
All right. We have Sarah back.
I'm back. Sorry, I live in the middle of the woods.
In the middle of the woods on an island?
Yeah, it's iffy.
A little sketchy. But hey, when you want to say out of pocket things, you know where to hide.
That's true. No one will find me.
No one will find you. Real quick though, before we end the episode, we do have one last thing to get to here, right? And we're gonna close the first episode of the Duck Boat Dispatch with a segment we're gonna call the tourist attraction, where we look around the sports world, any other major story we want to talk about from any other place in the United States. We're going to talk about. We all bring one in. Henceforth, the tourist attraction kind of goes with the whole duck boat theme we have going here. So I'll kick it off. Giannis Antetokounmpo potentially requesting a trade for. Oh no, that's Josh's. Thank you, Josh, for the weird look.
This guy,
I,
this guy's stealing my topics. I have it written down in everything.
He's gonna
well, down.
steal your
No, I have the Dallas Mavericks, the number one overall pick in the lottery. I had it scrolled to the wrong spot in my on my phone on the rundown, Josh. I apologize. The NBA is so rigged in that sense. You can't tell me otherwise. They trade Luka Doncic and then immediately get the number one overall pick. You can't tell me that's not rigged.
I can tell you it's not rigged because of the amount of moving parts that you need for that to happen. You do understand that, right?
Okay, it's so, dude. Every time,
Because
like, I can
for
see Adam Silver making the call to Nico Harrison. You send Luka Doncic to the Lakers with LeBron Braun, and we will gift you Cooper Flag. I can
but
see
you
it.
you understand that the Mavericks were about to make the playoffs, that they were trying to win a
Mm-hmm.
play-in game
Yep,
to, and if they win that game, they don't even get a ping pong ball. They don't even get a ball in that whatever that machine is called. There's
I'm
way too
aware.
many moving parts, and then you have Kyrie going down with an injury. You have AD going down with an injury. You can't plan all of that for that just simply to be rigged. But the other thing is, and this is how you have to look at it, the Mavericks had a 1.8% chance to win the lottery. That's not zero. When was the last time a 1.8% chance team won the lottery? We've never seen it happen because it only happens 1.8% of the times.
I don't
I
care.
don't think it's rigged because there's way too many moving parts.
No, it's just so sketchy that a team jumps 10 spots with a 1.8% chance after they
It's
lose a Luka
sketchy,
and
but
like the worst trade in NBA history. It just like
it's
think about it.
sketchy, but it's too many
Every
moving
team
parts.
that loses a big guy, like AD to the Lakers, they get Zion. LeBron James leaves Cleveland, they get Kyrie. Like this just seems to happen in the NBA where if you lose, typically it surrounds LeBron James. Like LeBron goes somewhere, you'll get the first pick back or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, but you also have to think about like why would if they want some generational talent to go to a specific team, why the hell would they have Zion Williamson go to the Pelicans?
It's the
And in the
makeup for
two,
losing Anthony Davis to keep these
so then
small market teams happy.
in the 2010s, why did they not give the Lakers any of the first round picks? The Lakers are one of the most marketable teams in the league. They
Because
didn't
they
give
had
them the
Kobe
first overall
Bryant, they didn't
pick.
need a first, and they were competing for championships.
After Kobe retired, you dummy.
They got the number two pick back to back years. They got Brandon Ingram, who was arguably better than Ben Simmons, and absolutely is better than Ben Simmons. And then they got Lonzo Ball, one of the most hyped point guard prospects of the 2010s.
But it wasn't the number one overall pick. If they wanted to give them some generational talent, they would have given them like the number one overall pick in whatever
Because the
draft.
Lakers don't need the number one overall pick to get talent because free agents going to go there, and they're always in the trade market.
Yeah, because they don't want a generational young talent fresh out of college to go to the Los Angeles
They don't have
Lakers
to
to build
worry
them.
about drafting them because they just trade. They just trade for him. I can see Sarah kind of crouching down in the corner over there. We're gonna get off this. I swear.
No, my foot was asleep.
It just, I mean, Sarah, you strike me as a conspiracy theory guy. It reeks of conspiracy theory that the Mavericks just happen to get the one overall pick.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how
You
that
have no clue
works.
what's going on. Yeah.
Not a
So
clue.
we'll lay the story out for Sarah. She'll be the final decider, Josh. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So next time you win money at the casino, I'm gonna say that's rigged.
It is rigged. Electronic blackjack machines are absolutely rigged.
Okay, you
I
can't.
said
He does not win in betting, so if he does win, it is 1000%
that's
rigged.
what I just said, and he didn't hear me right. I said if you do win, it's rigged because you have such a low chance of winning at the casino.
Exactly.
Hey,
You
buddy,
suck at it.
getting red
Horrible.
there's a 48.5% chance of happening, and it never happens when I'm at the table. And there's a 1.8% chance it happens for the Mavericks. Anyways, here's the story, Duffy. Here's the story. The Dallas Mavericks have this guy, Luka Doncic, who's a top 5 player in the NBA. They just came off the finals loss.
I know
Trade
him.
him to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis and a bag of chips. Don't even get a lot of picks back. And then they get the number one overall pick in the draft this year, where there's a arguably generational talent in Koopa Flag.
Okay.
You don't think that seems a little suspicious that they send Luka to go to pair up with LeBron James and make a potential playoff push for
Okay.
LeBron's fifth championship? And now, in return, they get Cooper Flag and the number one overall pick and whatever they want to do with that.
I think it's pure luck.
Thank you.
All right. I'll cry another day.
If it is a conspiracy, then you're right. But I don't think it is.
We'll
Well,
never
who had
know.
the first overall pick last year?
Last year was the Washington. No, was it the
No, it was
Wizards?
the Atlanta Hawks.
The Atlanta Hawks.
See, I know ball and you don't.
And
The
okay, well,
Wizards
when
had the second
was
pick.
the last time the Mavs had the first pick?
I don't think they've ever had it.
Then it
No,
was
yes, they did. They had it. What year is it?
It's 2025.
1980 something. I think they had the first
Okay,
pick. I
so
forget the dude's name.
if it was like back-to-back first rounds, then yes, that's a little sketchy. But because they haven't had it in so long, I think it's fine. They
All
just
right.
got lucky.
All right. Maybe there is the thing called luck. I just don't have it.
We
Josh, what
know.
do you want to talk about? I know I spoiled it, but tell us anyways.
No, go ahead. Just say it.
No, it's your time to shine, Josh.
No, I want to talk about Giannis potentially being moved out of the Milwaukee Bucks. So this has kind of been like their little seed that's been planted but never has sprouted. I think this is the year that it's actually sprouting, where Giannis has not verbally come out saying he wants to request a trade or he wants out of Milwaukee, but because of he has expressed that if the Bucks fail to just be a contending team for the years to come, he eventually would like to be out. And the Bucks have not been a contender since 2021, since they made that finals push against the Phoenix Suns that one year. So now that they just got bumped out of what, the first round, it's looking like Giannis is going to get chipped. And especially if you are the Bucks, I think the best move for you is to move Giannis, because you're kind of in this, we want to compete, but we also kind of need to rebuild because we have zero depth on this team. So there's no teams that have been narrowed down. There are teams that are in high contention more than others, but I think like half the league right now, because the season still hasn't ended, half the league right now I think is in contention for Giannis. It's some higher than others, like the Rockets, the Spurs, and the Nets to me are the top three. Those are the top three teams to land Giannis. But I would be surprised if you see the Raptors in there, the Pistons, the Mavericks, if they want to toss that first round pick, the first overall pick. I don't think they will. I think they're taking Cooper Flag. I wouldn't be shocked if you threw the Thunder in there because of the amount of draft capital that team has, and that's something that the Bucks want to look at.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense for the Bucks and Giannis to kind of mutually part ways here. They went all in for a championship after their one championship. They get Damian Lillard. They ship out Chris Middleton. They're just old. They don't have a lot of draft capital. They don't have a lot of cap space. They're kind of, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do we keep Giannis and meddle around as an 8th seed, a bottom half seed in the NBA playoffs, not really competing for a championship? Or do we move off of this guy, get a bunch of capital, get a bunch of young assets, and try to rebuild from the championship? So it makes a lot of sense. I think he gets moved. He wants to stay in the East, and I think the Bucks and Giannis have a good enough relationship where they'll kind of honor and trade him where he wants to go. So whether that's Brooklyn, Toronto, maybe any other team that's in the playoffs right now makes a splash for him, we don't know yet, but I think it is something worth keeping an eye on. We're going to get to Sarah's now, and I know Sarah is very passionate about this topic right here. So I know her Wi-Fi is kind of on the fritz. Sarah, are you here?
Yeah.
All right,
My
take it away.
my sucks. I wouldn't say I'm passionate about this, but I think this girl's a psycho. Jordan Hudson and Mr. Billy B. First of all, can I just say it's a 48-year age gap?
I think she's a year older than you, right?
You're older than me. Maybe like a couple months, because I'm gonna be 24 in September. People are
Bill
saying
Belichick.
no.
What
Ask
did
me
you
a
say?
question. I just
What
asked
did
you
you
if she would
ask?
date Bill Belichick.
Date Bill Belichick. No, he's too old for
I'm
me.
asking the questions.
He's too old for me. He's 73. That's
You
crazy.
could drop dead at any time.
Yeah, literally. I said this to you guys yesterday, but I think that she is using him, but not in like the conventional way you would use someone like Bill. He has a lot of media on him right now because he just signed with UNC as the coach, and he's kind of like making a career path that's a little different than what it used to be. His new book is coming out, and she's a pageant girl. She's 24. So she would have graduated college last year or like this year, whatever. She's fresh out of college. She needs someone to kind of guide her in life. Someone like Bill, who is extremely successful in the NFL, doesn't necessarily need the NFL to like give him anything else. Like he could kind of do anything and find success in it. So I think she wanted to kind of get her name out there. I saw something, I don't know a ton of detail on this, but since dating Bill Belichick, she has like millions of dollars worth of property.
She has eight
Was it
million
like
dollars worth of like
8 million?
property.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm 23. I can't buy a house. And I've been working for 5 years straight. Like, that's ridiculous. But the whole thing that kind of like brought everything to light is that interview where she was on set and she just shut it down. She was like, "No, we're not talking about this," when they asked how they met.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill, I'm gonna be honest, he's not looking too good. He's not. He's really not. He looks tired. He looks run down. I mean, he's 73 and he's starting a new career path. Like, that's a lot. And to keep up with a 24-year-old, Jesus. I don't know. I think she's using him to get her name out there, to start a career for herself, and when she gets to where she needs to be, I think she's going to drop him and move on.
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
think
I could
be
say
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if she starts dating his son.
the Belichick family is not a fan of her.
No.
His daughter-in-law, his son-in-law, his sons do not like her at all. I think the big thing you hit on that's absolutely nail on the head. You want to be that influencer type person, and dating Bill Belichick immediately throws her in the limelight, gets all the followers, the views, whatever. Just making any story she can, like with the CBS interview, kind of everybody says everybody like sources say that she's like a pain to work with, and things of that nature, and just
well, Tom, we're not talking about this, so we need to move on. Kidding.
so yeah, it just seems like she's out there to make a name for herself, and when she has what she wants, she'll leave. But who are we? Maybe we're all haters, and they're just truly in love. And I don't want to be in love at all, but
Dude, I'll
I think that is a
I'll be a
first
hater
step.
all you want.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but at 24 years old, you're not in love with a 73-year-old man.
her last boyfriend was like 64, I think.
So she knows what she's doing.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
She just
whoa!
likes old guys.
Why we shaming her?
She just likes old guys.
We're
Maybe it's her thing.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, if it is, I'm sorry, and like I'll apologize, but I don't know. It's weird to me. I
What
hate
was
it.
it though? If UNC, what was it? Big Showski told us this. If UNC ends up winning though, then everyone will forget about this.
Yeah, if he goes out and dominates college football, it will not matter at all. She can be
Yeah.
on the field in her high heels all she wants. She can be next to with a headset, and it won't matter.
Are we gonna see her? Do you think we're gonna see her on the sideline on the first game, or
No,
like at least in the stands,
she'll
Yes,
be in
she'll
the
have a
stands.
booth.
She will not be on the sideline.
and some fancy outfit,
She's
some
gonna have like a
expensive outfit?
blue Hermes bag, like please. She's gonna have a blue
Oh,
Birkin on the sidelines.
yep,
That
all
she
UNC.
reminds me of a young Brittany Mahomes.
I like that comparison.
That's a
I
great
like that
comparison.
comparison.
So
That's a great comparison.
young Brittany Mahomes.
That's a
Sorry.
great comparison. I think it's a great way to. Yeah,
Put a wig on her, and they look the same.
someone.
They
Someone Photoshop this for us.
I was gonna say, does someone use like the AI Photoshop thing and just don't use it for like mean things? Just make her blonde, and I want to see how close she
we
is to
should
Brittany
like
Mahomes.
ask ChatGPT show us a picture of Brittany Mahomes with brown hair.
Ooh, do either way.
Can we put an image up on this software? Can we do that? If we ever get a photo like that, can we do that?
I might
Can
be
we
able
like
to
bring
share
up
a
an
screen or
image?
something like that. I can share my screen. There's a ton of this we're gonna have to figure out more. I can put like graphics on the bottom and like text and the whole thing. It really is a kind of can put me on a software. I haven't paid for it yet, so fingers crossed. So it works. Either way, though, I'm happy to pay for it. I think it's a good place to end it.
I
Jordan
agree.
Hudson is Brittany Mahomes, just with brown hair and likes old guys.
Yeah,
Title of this show, episode 1: Jordan Hudson is Brittany Mahomes with brown hair.
that would be
It's all the
amazing.
clicks. It's all
That's
the
perfect.
clicks.
Episode 1.
Episode 1 of the Duck Boat Dispatch. Brittany Mahomes and Jordan Hudson, are they related? Question mark,
Are they
exclamation
the
point.
same person?
They're the same person. That is a wild thing to think about. I think you want
It's like scary though. If you look at them, they look alike.
Now I need to see this.
You
Yeah,
have
I'm gonna say like
they
the
look
first thing I'm doing when I shut this off is I'm looking at a picture, looking
they
at a
look
picture and going
alike.
side by side.
They look alike. I'm just gonna say
And
it.
this is why we brought Duffy on. This is why I brought the things that we don't think about here, Josh.
Hold on, I'm getting a photo.
Josh is in the middle of looking it up. Do you want us to wait for your live reaction, or do you want me to end it?
Oh, wait. This is scary, actually. Hold on. No, because,
What is he
yo,
doing?
this is actually kind of freaky. It's not like identical, but like,
Similar.
yeah. Yeah, they got like similar head shapes.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a very like
Like the
pointed.
same like bone structure.
They have like that like very like creepy, like almost like Joker smile, I want to say. Like that's what I
Hey,
want to call it.
Like
hey,
they
Brittany
she
Mahomes wins Miss Maine over Jordan Hudson though. If she would play.
no, she wouldn't. She kind of reminds me of a girl I went to high school with, but I'm just not gonna go into that anymore because I don't want to.
You do look similar.
Yeah.
Hey, that's where we're gonna end it. Episode 1 of the Duck Boat Dispatch. Make sure you follow us on social media. Check out the YouTube page. We're gonna be back 1 week, 1 episode a week is kind of the goal here. The production will get better, I promise. But yeah, anything else you guys want to say?
I don't.
Nope.
Celtics in 7, baby.
But
Boy.
you were doubting them though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you
No,
know
no, no,
what?
no. You
I
can't
can
say that. You can't.
believe
You
and want,
no,
but I know what.
you were not believing earlier this show. You were not believing. You were
You
not
root
on this
for it and
train.
think two different
He's
things.
wearing the Celtic shirt.
You are not on this
I have
train.
my Jay Herbert Oregon shirt on right now.
You're wearing an Oregon shirt.
Jay Herbert, baby.
The second Jason Tatum goes down, this man loses all hope in his team. He does not have faith in his team, even
Putting
at
Bandwagon.
their
on my head,
lowest.
not my hat. Okay,
Even
my
at their
head
lowest.
did not lose
If
him.
you don't want the Celtics at their lowest, you don't deserve them at their
Buddy, I was
highest.
watching them with AJ Bradley
Exactly.
and Jared Sullinger. I don't want to hear it. That was their lowest in my lifetime. They had Jared
And,
Meatbag Sullinger on their team.
and were you watching the game last night? No.
Yes, I was. I was watching it
No,
at work
no,
and
you
then
weren't.
produced
No,
the
It's
you
not
were
post-game show.
not.
Tatum. He's not watching it. We all know this, okay?
I
We're done.
watched I watched at work while I was producing Red Sox Review.
No, you weren't, because no, that's not what you told me.
Well,
Oh.
I was
That's not
running
what you
back and
told
forth
me.
cutting up audio. I have a
So you
job.
weren't watching it.
I missed a
Okay.
few seconds of the game. All right. And that's what you signed up for, all this bickering, Sarah.
I know. Hey, you get insane hot takes from me, I can deal with bickering.
Hot takes where?
God, Josh, he has hot takes. All right. Episode 1. Wrapped it up.